we're sitting here,
Yeah.
and right behind you is the iconic 24 car, which everybody knows the history of that car prior to you getting in it, and now you're in it. But your path to get there, it was a little bit different than most.
Yeah, I started racing on iRacing, which is kind of unique and very different than other guys start racing. You know, I didn't run go-karts as a kid. I didn't really grow up in a racing family, so I was just so passionate about racing in general that I wanted to get involved in the driving side of it. And that came later when I was 14 or 15 years old, but thankfully I had iRacing to use as a platform to get started and hone my skills.
William Byron's a great story from our perspective because, I'll be honest, we didn't know anything about him. He was the one that told the story about how he used iRacing at home and was proving to be really good at it, and his dad took notice and said, you know what, why don't we get a Legends car and we'll go try this for real.
That bump in turn one, that bump is, I mean, that's right where it is on the racetrack.
I mean, most of the track layout stuff's exactly the same, which is really helpful if you're going to the racetrack for the first time.
So the simple fact that we're shifting, that's kind of, like I wouldn't have guessed that we would have had to do that when we started this, based on the video games I've played in the past. There's iRacing and there's video games. What's generally the difference between the two?
Yeah, so iRacing's more of a simulator. It's not as much of a game, I think. They always say that, you know, guys that race iRacing all the time want to say how it's a simulator, not a game.
We are not a video game. You know, Gran Turismo, Forza, you buy one of those games in the store, you take it home and you run it on your console, you're going to play that for 20 or 30 hours. What's really unique about our product is that people spend hundreds of hours on our product because it's not easy.
It's really more of a tool. It's kind of like a flight simulator. It's more of something you use to hone your skills at a higher level instead of just going on there and picking up a controller.
Oh, you ran me up the track.
That was a pretty good race.
What was different from the iRacing in terms of when you got loose or when you got tight when you were in the real car?
Honestly, in some ways it was easier. And that sounds crazy, but you could feel the car more.
That doesn't sound crazy. It makes me kind of curious, though.
Yeah, you could feel the car more, and in person I had that extra, or I had extra skills to use or extra senses to kind of use in the car. So my sense of smell you don't have on iRacing, and your sense of, I guess, feel and danger and fear factor is not there.
I guess the fact that you think that the real cars are easier than the iRacing, that tells us why you're having the level of success that you are at this point right now.
Byron jumps to the lead on the restart.
He's so nervous, he knows how close he is to his first win at this moment.
Career win number one for William Byron comes in Iowa. What a night for William Byron.
Towards the end of that season, the announcement's made. You're going to the 24 car.
There was a big announcement earlier this week out of Hendrick Motorsports. 19-year-old William Byron will now occupy that car for the 2018 season.
There's a lot of pressure that comes with hopping in the 24 car.
Driving the Cup car itself is obviously a challenge, but I knew, you know, I just trusted my instinct, kind of trusted what I've done to get to this point. So, you know, the boss didn't really put that much pressure on me. Mr. Hendrick kind of told me to just go out there and make sure I can learn this year. You were running, that was like you ran half second faster than you ever did. Right there.
That's your way of saying bless his heart before you say you suck. When you look at iRacing and you look at the impact it had on your career, and yes, you had to go learn the driving aspect of it, but it's what kind of got you started. What role do you think it's going to play in kids coming up through in the future?
I think it's huge. I think it's probably the next innovation for racing. Or I think there's going to be more data, more chances to understand what's happening inside the race car. And I think where you see that in F1 is guys, they're taking them off the development teams and putting them right into the real cars just because of the data they see that they're able to produce. So I think you're going to understand who has talent, who doesn't, a lot quicker. And that's going to make for iRacing to be a bigger platform.
The playoffs have started, and it is time for the top drivers in the SSCA AdPro 360 Challenger Series to start fighting each other like gladiators for this title. And what better place to do exactly at that than at the last great Coliseum, Bristol Motor Speedway. Hello fans, and welcome to the world's fastest half mile, here for the Top Shelf Auto Detailing 250 Round 17 of the 2018 SSCA AdPro 360 Challenger Series. Hi, I'm Samuel Ryman, and alongside me in the booth is Sean Ambrose. Behind the scenes we have our director Joe Peake, using camera sets made by Ducky Beard. Sean, one thing we're wondering is how will these drivers approach tonight's race? Because although they'll all want to be racing each other for the win and get as many points as they can, you still need to respect this track.
Sam, you better respect it because I'll tell you what, the last great Coliseum is always going to bring the excitement. This 0.533 miles, 30 degrees of banking. Listen, everything happens here in a split second, Sam. Really, lightning quick reflexes needed to navigate Bristol Motor Speedway, formerly Bristol International Speedway. You know, they opened it back in 1961, and it has been a landmark here in Bristol, Tennessee, right on the border of Bristol, Tennessee and Virginia, Sam. You know, it's 485 miles from tip to tip, Memphis to Bristol. You get you all the way across Tennessee and up out here into the valley, and sitting just high above Bristol is, of course, the Bristol drag strip there up on the mountain. And you want to talk about Thunder Valley? Well, when those dragsters get going, it's definitely Thunder Valley. Tonight in Thunder Valley, we've got the Xfinity cars, and we're going to go on board with the GSRC lap guide and take a ride around Bristol Motor Speedway.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global SimRacing Channel. My name is Brian Yazek. Today I'll be taking you for a spin around the last Coliseum, Bristol Motor Speedway in the GSRC Chevrolet Camaro. For your hot lap, you're going to run the high side right there, bring it back down, build up some momentum, come to the line, and then what you're going to do on your hot lap is actually find the bottom of the track, not too quick, because then you see the rear want to drift around on you, just like what happened to me. Off of the corner, find it low, brake right about that nationwide sign, cut it right down to the bottom, roll back into the gas a little bit, full throttle now, and then across the line. So for the rest of the race, you're going to be seeing guys all over this top lane of the track. Bristol is a very bumpy track, and the top lane really allows guys to get a nice head of steam and make a run, but the problem is everybody runs up there, so it kind of ends up looking like a locomotive with a whole lot of cars. So what you're going to do is when you get into the corner, you hit your brakes right about that nationwide sign, let off, let it roll, let the car find grip, back into the gas about 75%, and then full throttle off of the corner. Same for this corner right here, 1 and 2. Up into the top of the track, let it roll, find the gas, drive it hard off, and then the final time right here through 3 and 4, top of the track, let it find the bottom, drift down a little bit, and that completes your lap guide around the Bristol Motor Speedway. My name is Brian Yazek. Enjoy the show.
All right, and we are back here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Tonight, we've got the Top Shelf 250 on tap for you. Top Shelf is Raleigh, North Carolina's most experienced auto detailing company for over 35 years. Top Shelf Auto Detailing has been making rides look new again. Call Robert over there at 919-883-7497. Listen, if you're in the Raleigh area or just around there somewhere, give Robert a call over at Top Shelf Auto Detailing, 919-883-7497. Sam?
And there you can see all the cars are out on track together right now for an open qualifying session. The reason they're letting the drivers do this, of course, at Bristol. Why not? You've got 10 minutes to get as many laps in as possible, and in that time you can do 40 laps. No one should have an excuse at the end here, Sean, not to put on a pretty competitive time, even if there is a lot of traffic out there. But of course, the drivers like who we're seeing on screen right now, Gerald Campbell, they'll really want to be getting a competitive time as we kick off the playoffs.
Yeah, Sam. Listen, it's a 250 lap race. I'm okay with just kind of hanging out for a little while, but listen, it's round one of the playoffs, and what we know is that you win this thing, and guess what? You're in for round two.
Yeah, so let's take a quick look, Sean, at those contenders who will be racing for the championship.
All right, well, there you go. Gabe Wood, there at the top of the points, leading in. Picked up all those bonus points into the playoffs, and right now sits there, obviously 30 points up on everybody. Gerald Campbell, Trey Galgan, William Davis there round out the top four, and then Adam Eisenhower rounding out the top five is where I meant to stop. Blake Griffith, Mark Pleadwell, and John Theodore are your 8, and then you got Donald Stewart, D'Amico, Josh Bonwell, Danny Rogers there, and Sam, I think we were talking a little while ago, Danny Rogers and D'Amico not even here this evening. So, Sam, you can't advance, you can't gain points if you're not here.
No, Danny Rogers actually performed well enough, and in the SSCA, you can only run for the championship in the trucks, or the Challenger, or the Cup Series. You can't do more than one, much like in real-life NASCAR, you can only score points in one of them. Not a heck of a lot of drivers this 2018 chose to run for points in Xfinity. Danny Rogers put on a couple of solid performances and was able to make the playoffs really without making a whole lot of races. However, I don't think he's going to be able to make round 2 of the playoffs, which will feature 8 drivers. If he's not here at a whole lot of these, first we go to Bristol, and then we're going to be going to Road America next Thursday, and then round 3 of the race 3 of the first round of the playoffs will take place at Darlington. So 3 tricky tracks. So let's give you a bit more of an idea of the series details here, what these drivers are faced with each and every race. Of course, as we mentioned, we are in round 1 of 7, essentially, of the playoffs, with the 3 NASCAR XFINITY cars, Chevy, the Ford, and the Toyota. Setups are fixed, but things get interesting below that. They have a limited number of tyres for the race, 5 sets of tyres. If you cause 2 incidents, you will be disqualified. And yes, this race will finish under green. Well, we're about halfway through this qualifying session. Currently, your provisional pole sitter is Gerald Campbell. We had him on screen a few moments ago, a 14.688. Only about 100th of a second ahead of a car that we just saw, the 00 of Gabe Wood. Certainly 2 of the favourites for the title, Sean.
I'd say based on this season's performance, I think you hit the nail on the head. But listen, this is a clean slate for a lot of guys, and you just really never know how someone's going to respond when they've got when they've got an opportunity to start over again. It's motivation for some guys. We don't know how much everybody's been practicing between last time they had these Xfinity cars on the track and tonight. So, I don't know. We could be surprised. It may not go, as they used to say back in the day, it may not go according to Hoyle, Sam.
Taking a look around the track at some of our other competitors. Will Davis, definitely a driver going to be trying to score a lot of points tonight. We mentioned D'Amico and Rogers, who made the playoffs but are not currently in the server. Add a third driver to that list, Blake Griffith, which was a shame because he picked up a win early on in the season, got a few bonus points, but maybe those bonus points will help him not lose too much ground on his competitors here tonight at Bristol.
Yeah, well, it's a shame he's not here. He's missing out on a great opportunity. Now, Chris Scala, looking at it on screen. Listen, Chris had some internet problems last time we saw him on screen. Guess what? He's got that all sorted out. Things back to normal for Chris. So the Bud Light machine, the 05 looking there could be your winner tonight right now. The guy we're watching on the screen. I know Scala, a big fan of this track, and he might have something little. Well, he's not going to doing that, but anyway, he may have he may have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder this evening. As we see Luis Salmaso slowing it down. Now it's Mark Clewell on screen. Sam still looking for that fast lap.
Now the SSCA, we mentioned they have a truck and a cup series, and this will concern the drivers racing for points tonight, Sean, in that neither of those two races I would particularly say were clean. So maybe third time the charm, hopefully, for these guys, although at the end of the day, it's Bristol, baby. But I would say that it's got the ease the minds of the playoff competitors here that there's only 16 drivers registered for the session. Just by showing up, they're pretty much guaranteed top 15. The problem is trying to gain points over the others who are bunched up close to them in points as the playoff starts.
Yeah, Sam, you're absolutely right. Listen, it is... I think we've got the right number. Right? One of the drivers mentioned earlier they felt like 20 was a good number, and anything under that. So let's see how that works out. I think that was the general feeling of most of the guys. They don't really have a tricky track to deal with tonight. When we look at the weather, it's mostly cloudy. It's 71 degrees outside. It's only 73 degrees on track right now. Heat up as they get going at full speed here over multiple laps in the green flag conditions, but. Still pretty favorable. This is the type of weather you'd like to have at Bristol. Not really seeing any cars having a lot of trouble with grip right now, which means we could see some good side-by-side tight racing tonight over the 250 laps that we're getting ready to rock out here in about a minute.
I'm seeing some drivers still running into trouble as we hit the closing moments of this qualifying session. You might want to get out on track if you're not happy with your current time. Currently, I'm showing about 4 cars out on track. Will Davis, Josh Bomwell, who just went into the pits, Mark Clewell, John Theodore, Gerald Campbell, and Gabe Wood just came back out onto the track. They're going to each have one more shot at trying to take pole from the other.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, it's nice to see a fight for the pole here. You know, the record on this track is actually the qualifying record. Something... it's crazy. Or no, it was a race lap, actually. It's like 12.7 seconds, Sam. And that was done like back in 2011. I think it was some sort of a modified vehicle. But that's just insane. These guys are running 14-second laps. So take 2 seconds off of that and talk about blazing speed. But 14 is getting around here quick. Right now, Campbell and Wood separated by mere thousandths of a second, and a 14.688 and a 14.694 right now between the two.
Yeah, well, we just saw Gabe Wood pull off. I thought he was done, but no, he just took a green flag right before the checkered flag came out. So he has one more lap. He hasn't hit any traffic so far. Gabe Wood coming out of turn 4 right now. Can he gain those 6 thousandths of a second to take pole? No, he cannot. Gerald Campbell is going to be the round 17 winner of the Sim Speed Shop Pole Award. Remember, for every 2 poles, a driver earns $5, and the driver with the most poles at the end of the season earns $20, courtesy of simspeedshop.com, which is a great place to order custom button boxes, as well as to buy and sell used equipment. For more information, go to simspeedshop.com. And that is Gerald Campbell's 4th pole of the season, whereas no one else running for points at the least has scored more than once. I have a feeling Gerald Campbell might be getting a nice little bit of cash at the end of the season to race this guy. Anyway, let's here we go as the cars are getting gridded up on the track. Hope that this shouldn't take too long. Gerald Campbell going to be starting on pole position, as you just mentioned, Sean, by just 6 thousandths of a second over Gabe Wood. Josh Bomwell not too far behind those two, lined up in 3rd alongside Will Davis. Trey Galgan will be starting 5th alongside John Theodore, and then Mark Clewell back in 7th place with Eric Stanford alongside him. Luis Almalso and Chris Scarlett round out the top 10.
All right, and Sam, I'll get the rest of the field here, and, well, it starts with Jeremy Crandall in row 6 on the inside. Mark McFadden going to flank him there on the right in 12th. Adam Eisenhower made it. He's starting at 13th tonight. Donald Stewart in the Stewart & Hovis Chevrolet going to start 14th. Jeff Martin, 15th starting spot for him tonight. And Darren Clement, now I'm not seeing him on track yet, so I don't know if Daryl's running. We'll see. But he is the 16th car in the field, and right now we've got 15 rolling off, Sam.
Yeah, 2 pace laps around here, but they're going to go by in a hurry, and we will be racing here just momentarily. 250 laps, 3 stages. The first stage will be 50 laps. Second stage, likewise, another 50 laps, and then 150 laps to finish the race.
So excited to be here, Sam. It's a great way. I know some would probably question, what are you thinking by starting off your playoffs at Bristol? I'm going to steal a term from NASCAR. Boys, have at it. I like the idea, and I think we got a great race on tap. Like I said a few minutes ago, I think we got a good number here to race with, and based on what we saw in practice, I think we're going to have a real competitive one tonight.
So we have 9 playoff drivers of a 12 that qualified here tonight. The top 7 drivers on the grid are playoff drivers, and then the other 2 are starting in row number 7, Adam Eisenhower and Donald Stewart. So they're going to want to hope for a clean start from the drivers in front of them. Gabe Wood is our pole sitter. He is elected to start up high. This being a couple years older configuration of Bristol Motor Speedway, where the high groove is still the dominant line. Pace car is off. For those about to race, we salute you, because we are about to go racing in Thunder Valley.
Oh, already side by side all the way through the field. Great start, Sam.
Great start by Gabe Wood down low to keep up alongside Gabe Wood, as a matter of fact. To keep up alongside Joel Campbell. As a matter of fact, Gabe Wood is going to lead lap number 1, and he's trying to use the low line here, run flat out and take the lead.
Yep, now they've gone line to stern. Everybody followed in the line here, Sam. Except for that battle for second. It could be heating up here. Bonwell looking for an opportunity inside. Bonwell's got to worry about on the right. Oh, up the hill goes the 6 of Gerald Campbell. And Bonwell comes down and says, thank you very much for opening the door. I'm taking my Mustang, and I'm moving into second.
It seems that with the cooler temperatures, the shorter way around is actually... Oh, and Campbell gets tagged from behind. That's Galgan. Another playoff driver, Salmalso and Mark Clewell.
Yep,
Clewell involved there. Fortunately, none of them too badly damaged, Sean.
I don't know. Clewell took some pretty good damage in that, Sam. Front end is really bent up. So's the left side. Oof. You don't have to have a perfect car to run Bristol, but boy, here it is on the replay. And yeah... Again, the 6 was struggling up there. Campbell had been struggling up there, Sam, for the past couple laps, and obviously gets offline up the track, and that loss of momentum brings Galgan right into the back of him here. On board with Salmasso, and boy, that's part of why Clewell's got all that damage. Salmasso hits him really hard, and obviously Salmasso's got a less than great race car right now also.
Interesting that Galgan has elected not to come down pit road and get repairs. I guess he's content with his car right now, wants to stay out there in 13th and try and get some track position back.
Well, listen, we've seen Trey move up through fields before, Sam, all season, in fact. So, you know, when we've thought his car has been in dire straits, I think sometimes we've given up on him a little bit too early. The car is really bent up. That Ford Mustang is probably going to struggle a little bit, but I don't know. We'll see if he can stay up to speed and stay on schedule with the rest of the guys.
Well, he might as well come in for repairs now. I mean, maybe not necessarily tyres, because you want to save your tyres for when you need them, only having 5 sets for the whole race. But Galgan has been given an end-of-line penalty for triggering that incident, so why not come in and get those fenders pulled out? He still hasn't brought it down, though. Luis also, I think, is still on the lead lap. He may have gone a lap down while he's been getting repairs in that number 4 machine. And now he is indeed being shown 1 lap down. Pace car lights are off. So Samuelso will be hoping for another quick caution. Worth noting, even though Gerald Campbell got a little bit of that, he stayed out on the track. He is running in 5th position. And Gabe Wood electing to start this race down on the low side. I have a feeling, Sean, because of the cool temperatures and the freshness of these tyres, the low side is actually to the driver's advantage right now.
Yeah, I think we'll see as the race progresses, but I think that's where you want to be right now. As the pace car gets ready, it's off.
And Gabe Wood gets a nice restart. Josh Bonwell still there in 2nd place, but will that low side pay dividends to Will Davis? Will he be able to get 2nd place from Bonwell? Right now, it's actually looking kind of good.
You got Eisenhower and Scala back here side by side. Oh, already got a pretty good little battle going on themselves. Bonwell getting by Davis up front, though.
Well, Bonwell trying to defend against Davis. Davis really trying to take 2nd on the low side. Now Bonwell finally is able to defend. I guess he knew that as the run went on. Granted, we're only 10 laps into the race and we've already had the caution. Oh, hard into the wall, gets tagged. Bonwell into the inside wall, no caution yet.
Well, the car has not come up on the racing line. Now it's out.
Well, this is for a separate incident, actually. Jeff Martin has gone around.
Yeah, we'll look at this one first here, Sam. Then we'll go to the Martin one, but there's a 56 on screen. Josh Bonwell got a little bit of help. Now here's the Martin one, and boy, that looked unfortunate, because that might have been 2 for Galgan. Oh no. Sam, looks like a good excuse to come on into the pits right now for a few guys.
Yeah, a lot of drivers running towards the back. I can't imagine they'd want to take tyres yet, Sean, but maybe a couple of damaged cars will get their fenders pulled out. They'll be able to top off the fuel. Some also just got the waiver out.
Yeah, I think that's the play. If you got a little bit of damage, go ahead, let's come in right now and get it fixed. You've lost nothing at this point. Nobody's lost any laps. I think that's the good call.
Still not seeing any kind of penalty being handed out to Trey Galgan. Pace car light's going to stay on for 1 more lap. Providing nothing else happens under this caution, it looks like all 15 cars that started the race will still be on the lead lap and still in the race. And honestly, Sean, all still competitive. Some just not looking as pretty as when they started.
That's all right, Sam. We'll just blame Bristol Motor Speedway for that. But I think, like you said, the lights are going to go out. We're going to get back to some quality racing here. Only 15 laps in right now, so still plenty of laps to knock out, plenty of opportunities to get to the front for everybody left in the field right now, which is all of them. We started 15. Darren Clement did not get going, so he's not in this thing.
Pace car lights still on for yet another lap. 234 laps to go, but they should click by in a hurry once we finally do get some green flag running going here, Sean, such as the pace of Bristol Motor Speedway, which is good news because it is a double header here tonight on the Global SimRacing Channel. We have the Lionheart IndyCar Series racing at Sonoma following this race, But that will be over, if you're watching on YouTube, that will be over on the iRacing Esports channel. So be sure to subscribe to those guys and check out the action here starting around 10:35 p.m. Eastern Time.
And Sam, I'm not shy. I'll bring it up. You'll be racing in that event.
Yeah, see, I prefer to keep the focus on the drivers who will be at the front.
That's right. Well, let's focus on the drivers at the front of this one because we're about ready to go back to racing here at the last great Coliseum.
All right, pace car lights are off. All 15 cars still on the track. In fact, no one was even given a NEOL. Trey Galgan will be starting in 7th position, so up a lot of positions in that short run there. But it's Gabe Wood starting from position number 1. Will Davis this time to his outside, but 3rd place seems to be a good place to restart. However, this time that position does not yield a good restart. There's John Theodore down there. So Will Davis will retain 2nd and in fact is looking to challenge Wood for the lead.
Yeah, he is. He's all draped over the bumper, coming across the line, going into 1. Woo, had to back off just a bit. You know who got a great restart? Chris Scala. He's driving that high, wide, and handsome line. That's where he likes the car right now, and he's got Galgan kind of following him. Galgan obviously trying to recover with that damaged car. Seems to be doing a pretty good job of it, but down on the bottom, the Red Bull machine, the 19 of Eric Stanford, not going to give up yet as he's going to challenge Scala. They're going to fight for that spot, the right to hold 5th here.
Now the restart, you may have seen one driver complete. Oh, and now leader's in the wall. Gabe Wood is in the wall. That's going to give the lead to Will Davis. And Will Davis takes the lead from Wood, who just gets a little too high, but keeps going in 2nd place. But what I was saying, as we'll catch a replay of this, what I was saying is we're lucky to even be green right now because Mark McFadden really got turned sideways on the restart. He was able to save it though when we stayed green.
Well, Sam, we got some awful tight racing going on here as Adam Eisenhower has gotten up into the mix. And the 19 Eric Stanford is actually starting to drop back through the field. They've caught John Theodore. And now we've got a good battle up here. Scala continuing to press from the top side, almost up in the wall, all over the back of the 6 of Gerald Campbell. He's got to get out of the throttle. Oh, and Eisenhower moves up the track. Makes a little bit of contact there with Campbell. Campbell finding a real rough way around right now, Sam.
Yeah, Gerald Campbell has really been struggling early on in the going here. He's definitely been one of the dominant cars throughout the season. He hasn't performed too well recently at the road courses. I thought we would see him back on form here tonight. Not the case, and a crash behind Jeff Martin again.
Boy, and looking at the replay, which we're going to have up on screen here in just a moment, I think Martin's car started to get a little bit loose, maybe a little bit tight before he made the contact with Stewart here. Stewart looked like he was in his line. There's the 15 up top. He comes down the track. Car just looked like it, like I said, it had bit. Was maybe a little bit tight up there in that higher groove. It came down across, and he makes the contact with Stewart. I don't think he wrecked the car up too bad.
Catch another angle of this replay. Pit road has already been open. I'll tell you, the first of the drivers coming into pit is Gerald Campbell, so it looks like he's finally saying, yes, something's up here. I need to get away from the front for now, maybe get some new tires or a bit of damage repaired. Interestingly, Jeff Martin electing to stay out, but he will be told to drop to the end for the restart.
Well, that's going to be tough. We've seen some drivers, though, you know, fight from a little bit further back in the field. So, Sam, and I know I said it before, it might be cliche every time the caution flag comes out here early. We got plenty of time left. Still, what, just over, well, right at 222 laps left.
Yeah, this is our third caution of the race. We're still in stage number 1 of this 3-stage race. It is lap 29 right now. I anticipate the lights will be going off on the pace car this time around because no one was a lap down at the time of caution. That being said, Jeff Martin, I think, has actually fallen a lap down, getting repairs in the pits. So that he'll be hoping for another caution, to be honest, to get his wave around. I'm pretty sure he'll get one. At the very least, he'll get one in about another 20 laps time when stage 1 comes to a close. Will Davis for the first time tonight, as we get one extra lap of caution. Will Davis for the first time tonight about to lead the field back to green. He got it when Gabe Wood slid up into the wall. And once again though, Sean, I want to keep half an eye on the driver restarting in 3rd place, John Theodore, just because that seems that hasn't been a bad place to restart so far tonight.
No, you mentioned that, 2 restarts ago, being down on the inside there, not looking like a bad spot. Scala so far looks like to be the only one who's got it to work consistently around the top line, but on this restart, I think I want to be right down there on the bottom, and I want to follow. Gabe Wood.
Just not follow him up into the wall like we saw earlier. Fortunately, he got away with it that time, but you definitely don't want to flirt with the walls here at Bristol too much. Gotta be a bit frustrating for the drivers that they're painted black, Sean, and maybe even hard to see in these nighttime conditions.
Might be, Sam, might be. We'll see.
Alright, so this time the pace car lights are off. Just 19 laps separating these drivers from the end of the stage. All 15 starters still in the race, 14 of them on the lead lap. Jeff Martin, as we mentioned, sitting in the lucky dog position right now. William Davis up high, Gabe Wood down low. Nice restart by Davis, nice restart by Wood. The battle will be for 3rd.
Boy, look at that Davis just throwing the power down there. That was a great restart. Theodore struggling down there on the bottom, actually. Eisenhower coming around the top, he's going to clear him going across the front stretch and across the line, and all of a sudden, it looks like that 27 car is struggling now. Scala going to come to his outside. He's going to try and take the spot.
And a bit of a battle for the lead. Gabe Wood is trying to get it back from Will Davis. If these two battle too hard, that will allow Adam Eisenhower to run them both down, and credit where it's due. Adam Eisenhower, the slowest driver the turner lap in qualifying. He started 13th and he's up in 3rd right now on lap 34.
Wow, oh boy, I don't want to be on the bottom right now, Sam, because Theodore is just dropping like a rock. Scala just got around him. Here comes the 4. Watch out, throwing it in there. No, battle for the lead's on.
Yeah, but as you mentioned, Sean, the low side isn't paying the dividends that it was at the start of a race, and Gabe Wood is struggling to get by William Davis.
Sam, they're all doing the same thing right behind the leaders. It's just behind him, Scala, Eisenhower, trying to find the 3rd spot.
Meanwhile, I'll tell you, Gerald Campbell, one of the favourites for this championship, he's only made it back up to 11th. He is having huge connection issues, so we'll keep an eye on that throughout the rest of the race.
Yeah, he's off my timing and scoring. He's back. Yeah, he's just been warned by race control. Sam, Chris Scala has got himself up to 4th. He's got a pack of angry Xfinity drivers behind him. And here we've got Galgan still moving up through. That's that 4. Luis Salmaso looking good here early.
10 laps left to go to the end of the stage as Will Davis comes across the line. Up front, he's actually been able to pull away from Gabe Wood. Gabe Wood got a little piece of outside wall a couple laps ago again. Things simmering down a tiny bit for the top 5, but positions 6 through 10 still very much up for grabs. John Theodore just trying to stop the bleeding, honestly, at this rate.
Yeah, he is really just continuing to drop through the field. Yeah, I'm watching the 05. He's making a run on Eisenhower, heading down into turn 3. Scala looking to go to third here before the end of the stage.
See the orange banner and splitter on Eisenhower's 86 machine. That's how you know he is one of the playoff drivers. Scala does not have that because he's not racing for the playoffs in this division, but he is in third position. And Galgan gets into Eisenhower, spins Eisenhower, and Galgan wrecks himself.
Oh no.
That's going to end stage 1. Donald Stewart also involved.
Yeah, and so was the 19 of Eric Stanford. He hit hard down there. Luis Salmoso also involved in that, Sam. In fact, Salmoso had to take a tow. And you see, Salmoso, he popped the motor. He hit the wall, popped the motor. He's out. Let's watch from Theodore's car here, Sam.
All this going on right in front of him. Let's see if Theodore's able to find a way by. Nicely done. The C's parted the ways for him, and he was able to end the stage with a good result. Meanwhile, pit stops have been going on. Gabe Wood looks like he's going to win a race out of pit road, but not everyone pitted.
No, not everybody did. Everybody's... It looks like maybe there were a few strategies there that said, you know what, I think I'm going to wait on the tires. But, Sam, I'm seeing everybody else come in right now except for John Theodore. What's Theodore up to here? That car, a little bit of front-end damage on it there. The Camaro's seen better days up front, but I don't know. We'll see what he's got. Showing up with a new paint scheme this evening. There he goes. He's going to go in, I think. I'm thinking Theodore might have just decided he wanted to start at the back, Sam.
So this will put our stage 1 winner, Gabe Wood, back up into position number 1. Even though it's not lap 50 yet, because they will complete lap 50 under caution, this caution ends as a stage, end in yellow, and at that point the stage points would have been awarded at the time of caution, essentially. So all this pit stops and strategy hasn't, you know, It doesn't mean anything with regard to stage points. The stage points were awarded at the time of a yellow.
Well, Sam, you still convinced the bottom is where you want to restart?
For this restart, yes, because they're all on fresh rubber. But I have a feeling as the run goes on, you're going to want to... if we get restarts throughout the stage, you're going to want to elect to take the high side. Now, Galgan has been given an end-of-line penalty again. So I guess that scraps the idea that 2 of those means you're done for the night. Which, yeah, he's one of the playoff drivers, so at least we get to still see him out there competing for points. We won't see Salmaso out here anymore. He has officially retired from the race, our first retirement. All the other 14 still on the lead lap. Gabe Wood has elected to start down low. And I think with the fresh rubber, well, we're not going to find out what kind of fight Davis can put up alongside him, because Woods already won the race into turn 1. But what about turn 3?
I don't know. Davis found a lot of momentum there off of 2. He's riding him, looking to the inside, heading to 1. Woohoo! Side by side through 1 and 2. Davis trying to pull the bold move from the inside. No one's done it yet. Gabe Wood still hanging on up top. Scala was able to get away clean in 3rd, but man, it's going to be Gabe Wood getting around.
And let's not forget how Wood lost the lead earlier on in the race. He slid up into the wall on the high side, so maybe that's another reason why Davis was trying to get low on him, kind of force him into the same mistake. I don't think bump drafting works at Bristol.
Yeah, I don't think I want that extra momentum heading into a turn. Will trying to rattle him just a little bit. Scala just back there lying in wait. He knows this is stage 2 early on. Just keep doing what I'm doing. Scala's been doing that old modified line, running her up high and then diamonding it off, running down the hill of these turns. That car is going to be plenty fast all night if he keeps it clean.
The only side-by-side battle I really see going on right now is for 11th place between Jeff Martin and Gerald Campbell. Oh, Donald Stewart just had a bit of a spin. I think it might be more than that, actually. Donald Stewart, one of our playoff drivers, looks like he's in big trouble, and we're staying green.
Yeah, Sam, looking at the replay, Stewart, boy, I don't know if he got checked up or what, but you're going to see the 48 get a heck of a run at him here. And oh, Stewart's motor is done. Cooked, and well, he's done for the night, Sam.
Yes, it looks like maybe even blew an engine before the incident happened.
That might have been it.
Kind of triggered that crash.
Yeah, he had that damaged car out here running, and obviously something was broken, either high oil temp or high water temp or a combination of both. It bit him.
Seen a couple of drivers even this deep into a run still sliding up into the wall. I saw Jeff Martin did it not too recently, but Jeff Martin is actually trying to break his way into the top 10 right now on the back bumper of Jeremy Crandall.
Boy, Sam, things really all
and Crandall turns up!
Uh-oh.
And that's going to bring out our 5th yellow of the day.
Yep, daring to see Jeff Martin and Crandall get together here when we come to the replay. I don't know. Did he know he was there? Did Crandall know he was there? I don't know, Sam. Yeah, that's just close racing right there. That's one of those what you call a racing deal.
So we are under yellow once again. A couple of drivers up front faking moves to the pits. Josh Bomwell, though, being serious about it, and not too surprised. He's actually got some pretty bad damage on that 56 machine. I think he picked up a bit of it on the restart by getting into the back of Mark McFadden. I saw a couple of orange cars having a bit of argy-bargy when we went back green last time.
Nothing wrong with a little argy-bargy as long as it doesn't cost you a race. Boy, I'll tell you what, the 6th really having trouble with that connection.
It always seems to be more significant under caution, Sean. I think it's when all the cars are bunched together, he's just got to try and hold that connection under the yellow. Is quality, your quality of your internet connection, you usually want to have it reading about 99 or 100. It's currently reading 30 for him.
Yeah, and Sam, for anybody who's not used to iRacing or gaming or esports in general, listen, that's not only tough for you, it's tough for everybody around you, because you never know where that car may reappear on the track surface. If you're next to him, if you're behind him, if you're, right in front of him. So a bit of an issue. So the best you can hope for is that things for Campbell get straightened away. And right now it's cost him a lap. He's a lap down. That's how much trouble he's had here since the start of the race.
Alright, so we just got clarification from the race admins. This is the first indication we have got that they're looking of adding additional penalties to a particular driver tonight, and that's that Jeff Martin has been told to drop to the back for this restart because he brought out a yellow. He brought out this yellow, or contributed to, at least to the bringing out of this yellow, and he's already been involved in a couple of incidents tonight. They're saying if he does another one, he will be held 1 lap. Right now, Jeff Martin's still out there on the lead lap in 12th position. Gerald Campbell, I think, has actually been shown a lap down right now in 13th. Looks like his connection's cleared up in time for the restart.
All right, everybody bunched up, ready to go. I'm sure they're a little antsy here. I was about to brag there, Sam, about how we had finally got to some real racing. We'll get another chance at it right here. Let's do it.
Not even half an hour into the race, so such is the pace here at Bristol Motor Speedway. This time with a bit of wear on these tyres, Gabe Wood starts up high, gets a nice launch. Will Davis filters into second behind him. Nice restart once again by Chris Scull up to third. Mark Clewell, by the way, has been very quietly up there in the top 5.
Yeah, boy, I'll tell you what, Scala, got to be concerned. Oh, Clewell up at the wall. It's a little bit of it, Sam. Drove it in a little hot.
Don't worry, Mark, I won't. Oh, here we go. Three wide. Between 3 playoff drivers.
Too early, guys. Too early. Come on.
Riding on board Trey Galgan, we know he's seen his fair share of action early on. Well, he's got a lot of action going on in his windshield. John Theodore knows he's there, stays down low. Galgan to the high side.
Galgan really pushing that Copper Hill Ford Mustang through the field as hard as he can right now. Good fight between him and Theodore.
Oh, and Gabe Wood just going to the wall once again. Our race leader, and this is going to give the top spot to Will Davis. Maybe, maybe not.
Galgan just flat spotted it too, Sam, right after that.
That's the second time we've seen Gabe Wood make that mistake tonight. Another one for Galgan.
Boy, he's really knocking it down.
I wonder if it's too cold for these tyres here at Bristol, Sean. I mean, I'm trying to figure out why we're seeing, you know, a circuit we thought would have a lot of grip be so tricky for these drivers.
You know, I still think the track has plenty of grip, Sam. I think the problem is that you can't get away with hitting the wall too many times here without it affecting the actual handling of the car. I mean, you know, one good wrap and you're already fighting a condition that's probably bad. You do it a second time at speed and you're fighting a condition now that may not even be manageable. So you're just hanging on by a thread to a hopeful yellow flag or a pit stop. Eisenhower trying to get back up through the field here. He's fighting hard. They are side by side.
Theodore will take that position, and we got speed. Back in the pack, it's Crandall again.
It's Crandall, and it was Jeff Martin right behind him, Sam. This may not end up well here for Martin. I'm not sure. It was slight contact, but it was contact nonetheless. Martin in the 15 there on the bottom. And 73 of Crandall right in front of him. Those cars definitely touch. I don't think that was a net code situation. Crandall was already fighting some damage. He's fighting more of it now. We'll get a different shot at it here on board with Gerald. He got the look from behind. Yeah, not much to see from there, but trust me, folks, I think there was contact.
Sure enough, race control holding true to their word and giving Jeff Martin a 1-lap penalty. Let's not forget, Gerald Campbell was kind of riding back there because he was a lap down. I should imagine he'll get the lucky dog here.
Yes, Sam, he is. I see him coming around now.
got to imagine for Gerald Campbell, he's almost just got to be racing for survival out back there now, Sean. For whatever reason, he hasn't came here tonight as fast as some of his highest championship competitors, but he's ran into this much trouble early on. We haven't even clicked down 100 laps of 250 tonight. He's just got to be thinking about, all right, let's get to the last 50 or last 100 laps first, and then start seeing what I can do from that point.
Well, Sam, I think right now, key for anybody in the field is just staying on the lead lap, right? Or at least if you're going to be a lap down, be that first car a lap down so you get a lucky dog. I'd say with the spate of yellow flags that we've had, that inevitably we're probably going to see a few more before this is over. Just kind of the way it's gone this evening. I don't think it's a lack of grip on the track. I think what it is you've got a lot of damaged cars on the track that aren't handling it, maximum performance right now, and that's why a few of these guys are probably struggling because of the trouble they found early.
So it looks like when Jeremy Crandall finally got going again, he was the first one to line up behind the pace car, so he should get a wave around here when the pace car lights go off. And it looks like we'll have a 20-lap shootout to the end of the stage again. This is what we saw at the end of stage number 1. Stage number 2, much like stage number 1, is 50 laps on lap 100. Yellow will come out again, if it's not brought out by another incident before that moment. Here we go. Wood and Davis. Wood up high again, Davis down low again.
Scala starting there on row 2, right up against side of Mark Clewell. That's where they started last time.
So currently showing 13 cars on the lead lap. As a matter of fact, that's all 13 cars still in the race, with Donald Stewart and Luis Salmaso out of this event. And Will Davis Jeff Martin must have got his lap back somehow. Alright, here we go, back racing. Gabe Wood, once again, nice restart. Will Davis, likewise. And even third, fourth are single file. The battle is on for fifth.
Scala struggled on the restart there. Now he seems to be up to speed finally, but boy, there is a good battle back there for fifth. Eisenhower holding on to it. It's going to get the top side. Here comes John Theodore on the bottom. Trey Galgan back there still running into the wall, dragging it through the turn.
And Jeff Martin has pulled it into the pits now, so he's actually serving his penalty under green, which is definitely going to hurt him. Here comes Will Davis, and Wood into the wall, and Davis harder into the inside wall.
Oh, and that started with Gabe Wood making contact with the wall, but there's no caution, Sam. The caution flag is not out. Clewell at the front of the field now.
Yeah, and Will Davis has been able to continue, but I'm sure he's got some motor damage from that.
Oh, has to have it. Oh, look at that. He wrapped it hard, Sam. The fact that car is still continuing is amazing.
Well, it's only going to make it 13 more laps, and then there's a caution coming out where you can get that repaired.
Man, I'll tell you what, this battle for third back here is intense. Again, Clewell got to the front of field. Gabe Wood following, but Theodore now challenging Scala. Scala gets in the wall. Scala in the wall out of 2, and that's going to open the door for Theodore. Now moves up to third. And up front, Sam, Gabe Wood starting to close on Clewell just a little bit.
That's Jeff Martin. He's multiple laps down now, rejoining the race. But let's not forget, Kyle Busch this year and also Kevin Harvick many years ago have proven that losing multiple laps here at Bristol is not necessarily the end of your race.
Yeah, well, Martin's going to have to walk on eggshells for the rest of this one, Sam. He's been warned by race control that they'll have to park him if he gets another incident. So we'll see. Oh, in fact, Martin's taking the car behind the wall, Sam.
That's definitely unfortunate news for the driver of the number 15. Not competing in the points in this championship, though.
Scala. Sam Scala seems to be struggling all of a sudden. He was up leading that pack of cars, and now he's fighting to just hang on and keep Josh Bonwell out of his mirror. He's driving the same line. He picked up a little bit of damage on the right front. That might have been one of those times he kissed the wall up there. That could have him off just a tick.
Credit where it's due, Sean. And there's contact for the lead. Clairwell going to the wall. Wood going to the back of Clairwell. But Wood is going to be able to drive around and take position number 1 back.
I think we've got to...
We're entering the closing laps of this stage, though. We've got a 3-way battle for the lead going on.
It's definitely a 3-way battle. Theodore wants as much of it as he can get.
And into the wall again goes Clairwell. So he has driven the tyres off of that 65 machine.
Yeah, driven the tires and the suspension off of it right now. At this point, Scala fighting for that 3rd spot. He's trying to lower line now, maybe trying to get the car to turn a little bit. He's not going to get it there. In fact, Bonwell's trying to find an opportunity up top.
I think Scala is just trying to take a line that Clairwell's not in. I was going to say, credit where it's due, Sean. Even though we were saying he's struggling, he's still in 4th, and he was almost back in 3rd there for me.
Yeah.
2 laps left to go in the stage as they come across the line. Gabe Wood leads it. Can we get our first caution for something other than an incident here tonight? Let's see. Gabe Wood has John Theodore down the inside, looking for the lead. 1 lap to go in the stage, and Wood, he's hit that wall a couple of times tonight. He almost did it again there. I think he'll be able to hold on now.
Scala making a move to try and get 3rd back here. Oh, and he's just going to miss out. Oh, he holds on to 4th. Ooh. Bonwell tried to get it there at the end. I don't think he did.
So it's Wood, Theodore, Clairwell, Bonwell, Scala, Eisenhower, Stanford, Galgan, Campbell, Crandall. Rounding out your top 10 then. There, and then McFadden and Davis, the only other 2 left on the lead lap left in the race. And quickly, pit road is going to be open for these drivers. Hopefully, it'll actually be a quick caution, considering the fact that, as we just mentioned, all the drivers still in the race on the lead lap. So Wood leads Theodore in for our 7th caution of the night. All of the cars hitting their marks. It's a slow speed limit here at Bristol Motor Speedway, so it's not too difficult to make it to your pit stall. Coming out of a pit stall first will be Wood, followed by Theodore, and then Bonwell will be in 3rd as they roll off. Well, we got a couple laps left under yellow before we go back green flag racing. I'm sure some of the drivers at the back will use that time to make repairs. We'll use that time to take a quick break here on the GSRC. Maybe we can get a full 150 laps of green flag racing into the end. It's a tough ask, but we'll be optimistic.
Hey, Sam, I'm guardedly optimistic about that.
We'll be back in just a moment. and welcome back to Bristol Motor Speedway. You haven't missed a thing. The drivers have just been turning laps under caution. Several of the drivers been getting repairs down pit road. 3 drivers out of this race already: Jeff Martin, Donald Stewart and Luis Samalso. The most notable of those, of course, being Stewart, as he is one of our playoff drivers. Also had 3 playoff drivers not show up tonight: Griffith, D'Amico and Rogers. Here we go, back to racing. Wood gets a good restart, and even on the fresh tyres, he elected to start high that time. And look who's making an appearance up front, Gerald Campbell. However, he won't get second place. John Theodore holds on to that. Boy, I almost wonder if Campbell didn't take 4 tyres away. He's dropping back right now.
He is really dropping back. Another car that's having trouble competing is Clewell right now. Clewell seems to be having the same struggle. Almost looks like he's holding Galgan up a little bit, but boy, this VFW Ford of Campbell there just backing up. Almost backed right up into Will Davis there. Will Davis having a tough time getting around. Davis going to try and make it 3 wide back there. No, doesn't have to. Campbell keeps falling.
Worth noting that these drivers cannot make it to the end on fuel. Granted, short pitting under Bristol means you don't.
Yeah, Sam, maybe Campbell's saving tires. I could be. We know the fuel runs somewhere about 115 to 125 laps. Like you said, you can't make it to the end on fuel. I can't imagine he's used up all of his tires already. Remember, you only get 5 sets. You started with 1 on the car when the green flag dropped. So, I don't know. A strange play. He has been in 5 times.
Yeah, I can't imagine he's been in for tyres each of those times, though. I have a feeling he took 2 tyres on that last pit stop. I mean, I know he had that desired number 1 pit stall that would have gained him positions on pit road, but the amount of positions he gained then compared to the amount of positions he's ending now, losing now, I'm thinking he's got to be thinking, okay, I'm not going to win this race on pace at this race. He's definitely been, at this rate, he's definitely been struggling tonight. Let's play a strategy call and just see how things pan out. The problem is he is so far off the pace. He's already half a lap down, even though he restarted right behind our leader, Gabe Wood. He could go a lap down on pace if we stay green for an extended amount of time. And this is the most spread out we've seen the field all night long.
It is, and that's what you don't want to have to happen. You don't want to get lapped due to pace, and unfortunately, that's looking like a real situation now. Sam, we don't know how well that car's recovered from the damage either. I mean, you know, it could just be he's not handling well, and he's really just hanging on to stay in the field. I mean, any points are good points. You got to finish the race to get those points, though.
Yeah, I mean, and to be honest, we're pretty sure that Gerald Campbell is going to be a driver who's going to show up at Road America and Darlington. We've already had a few playoff drivers not show up tonight. We've had one already crash out tonight. And Gerald Campbell comes in with a good number of points, considering the fact that he earned a lot of bonus points throughout the regular season. So Gerald Campbell shouldn't have any issue advancing to the second round of the playoffs, you know, being one of those 8 lucky drivers. The problem is he kind of needs a solid performance just to try and keep that momentum going.
Yeah, well, you know, I've been watching this battle between Theodore and Bonwell, and it's definitely heating up just a bit. Yeah, Gabe's got some cushion to work with, Sam, but it's not enough. This is the playoffs, and you got to be ready. You got to be on point. Again, I think right now, key for Campbell just to try and stay in and finish this. Try and get a top 10 if at all possible. Here we go. The 56. Bonwell really, really looking for a spot. He can't get it. Theodore keeps shutting the door on him, Sam.
Yeah, Theodore holding on to second right now, ahead of Bonwell in third. Also worth noting at this point during the race, we are not even halfway yet. The driver's coming around right now to complete lap 124. Next time around will be lap 125. They'll hit the halfway point about 50 minutes into the race after 7 cautions. So even another 7 cautions, Sean, which I don't think we get. I hope we don't get that many in the second half. Would mean we're not even here another hour, and that means great news for our viewers who want to see a GSRC doubleheader tonight. Watch the Lionheart IndyCar Series following this event.
Hey Sam, we're going to take him right up to the intro of that Lionheart race here in just a little while. You know what? We were on board with Bonwell. He caught a little bit of the wall when we were. I got to say it again, man. You can't eat up too much of this concrete too many times, or the car will start backing up through the field. Theodore, you know, talk about a guy having we talked about him enough, but having a really, really great run. He's had, let's face it, maybe been a little quiet at times. This is looking pretty good here for Theodore.
Yeah, what we just saw on screen there was Jeremy Crandall getting by Mark McFadden. These two are actually behind Gerald Campbell right now, and you can see the problem with McFadden's number 48 machine. He's just had significant damage to that Ford Mustang throughout this race. However, I'm sure McFadden doesn't mind that. He competes for the points over in the SSCA Truck Series, and it was at this track, Bristol, that was the last race to make a playoffs for the trucks, and McFadden performed strongly enough there on that day that he was just able to make it into the playoffs, and unfortunately for Joe Johnson, it was he who did not. Battle now on track for third between Josh Bonwell and Chris Scala.
Yeah, well, Scala's trying to take advantage of a little bit of problem that Bonwell had, and Scala trying to move. Oh, Scala's loose off a fork. Can he hang on? He does. Oh, wow. What a save by Chris Scala. Oh.
We'll catch a replay of this one, that's for sure.
Wow. Chris had a close one there. Code Brown.
Bonwell, one of those drivers who...
Make contact.
Yeah, Bonwell, one of those drivers who is competing in the playoffs. And it's very surprising, Sean, considering how strongly he's performed this season, that Bonwell didn't come into the playoffs with any bonus points. He is one of those that it needs to make sure he gets semi-decent performances at these 3 rounds, as we mentioned, Bristol, Road America, and Darlington. So far, got a decent one going here tonight.
Yeah, he does. Watch out for Scala. He's coming back now. Closing in on Bonwell. Scala's really not had much trouble. That car is pretty straight. He's got a little bit of right front damage, but he's definitely catching Bonwell again back here. Will Davis is moving up through the field, man. He's starting to close on Scala just a bit. This could be a good 3-car battle here in just a moment.
Well, let's not forget what sent Will Davis back there to begin with. He had been one of our leaders early on. He had a hard impact on the inside wall, and I'm honestly still convinced he could have motor problems later on due to that. But right now, that damage definitely doesn't seem to be upsetting him. Good battle for 6th going on behind Davis between Eisenhower and Clewell.
Ooh, Clewell trying to clear, and I think he does. They're into the turn. And Clewell's definitely going to get the spot, Sam. That's going to move him up to 6. Eisenhower looked across him over there. Nothing doing. Trey Galgan, who was fast early, Sam, seems to kind of have to deal with the car as is right now. It's not making up many spots here at this point. He's stuck back at 8 behind Eisenhower.
Yeah, and I'm sure, honestly, Galgan has been gave some kind of warning for aggressive driving early on. We saw him involved in a few incidents. Meanwhile, talk about aggressive driving. This battle for 3rd going on between Bonwell, Scala, and Davis.
Yeah, well, we just talked about it, Sam. We said that was going to be a 3-car battle, and no, Scala! Ooh, he makes the contact there. He has to get on the binders right up in front of Will Davis. Davis was the one that had the best
Oh, and Davis hits Scala, who spins in the middle of the track. Eisenhower and Galgan get into him.
Wow. Scala backs up into the wall here. on board here for a view of it from behind. There we are on board with Scala. And honestly, I don't think Scala did anything wrong here. Davis's car just, I don't know if it was erratic or if he maybe had a hardware failure, but that car seemed to kind of unnaturally turn a little bit out of the line, to be honest with you.
And Ike was really the big loser out of that, the number 86 smoking right now. A couple of drivers at the back have stayed out on track. Most everyone is into the pits. Gabe Wood going to win the race out of pit road ahead of John Theodore. That's also the way they came in.
Yeah, Eisenhower's car is done. He's still on track, but that's a trail of smoke coming from the car right now that you don't want to have in your mirror. And that may not be good. I'm afraid the Sim Speed Shop Camaro is done, and Eisenhower looks to be showing his frustration right now in the pit lane. So that's probably going to be a night for him. Scala left the car on track. He is currently sitting at timing and scoring has got a little bit messed up right now.
No, he is. I think what happened, Sean, is that incident actually put him a lap down. So
it did.
He kind of has to stay out to try and be on the tail end of a lead lap and get a wave around here. McFadden comes into the pits. He got the lucky dog, by the way, Mark McFadden, so he'll be back on the lead lap.
All right, so we're almost to that 100 to go point here. It's winding down, Sam. We're on the other side of the hill.
Yeah, well, I mentioned, Sean, we had 7 cautions in the first half of a race, and we could have done the last half of a race without one. Now, that wasn't the case. We got one. Will we rack up another 6? Hopefully not.
No,
but
I don't think so.
What's for certain is the intensity is going to pick up. I hate to know what these cars will look like. Well, actually, I'd love to know. I'm sure the drivers would hate to know what these cars would look like if iRacing rolled out its new damage package for this race. So, yeah, so the pace car lights are off. Scala gets a wave around, and that will put 11 cars back on the lead lap. We did have 12. Now, of course, Adam Eisenhower, we think, is done for the day. The second playoff driver to take it behind the wall. The first earlier on being Donald Stewart. And Gabe Wood, once again, about to lead them back to green. John Theodore to his inside. 103 laps left to go here at Thunder Valley. They head off into the first turn. Gabe Wood has the back clear. Battle on for third between the two Wells, Clewell and Bomwell. Right now, Clewell holding strong on the high side, but of course with the fresh tyres, sometimes the low side has been preferred in the short runs. And Bomwell certainly putting up a fight right now in that 56 machine.
Yeah, boy, is that Clewell in the wall there, I think, Sam?
Yeah, all this going on behind Eric Stanford. We really haven't mentioned him a whole lot tonight, but having a nice run going on there in 5th position right now. This battle between the Wells continues. And now here comes Will Davis. Remember we mentioned his big impact earlier on for one of our playoff drivers, trying to work his way back up through the field. Now he's back up into the top 5 again. Can he get Bonwell for 4th?
Yeah, he's definitely pressing. But that front end damage on Davis's car has got me a little bit concerned back there.
Nice thing about these cars, I believe these have the digital dashboards there, Sean, so surely he'll be able to get an indication if anything was starting to go wrong.
Yeah, you would certainly think it would at least be easier to see, right? So,
and Stanford really dropping back with that damage. Trey Gelgren just got by him for 6th place. Although Stanford's going to try and put up a bit of a fight and get it back from the 49 machine. Meanwhile, Davis has gone by Bonwell for 4th. He's now running Clewell down for 3rd. And here he goes, nice little crossover move there, going to go down the inside of Clewell into turn number 1. Davis just carving his way through this field, and the top 6 cars on track right now are all playoff contenders. So as we complete lap number 158, Gabe Wood leading this field. Definitely been the dominant car out there today, but he's also been his own worst enemy. We've seen him a couple of times tonight get up into the outside wall, and that's really what's been costing him the lead every now and again. Now these drivers should have enough fuel now to make it to the end if we were to stay green all the way to the checkered. However, with 11 cars left on track and the closeness and the unpredictability of some of the racing we've seen out there today, I doubt that will be the case, although I hope they prove me wrong. John Theodore currently running a solid 2nd position. Really, even though we have talked about him a lot tonight, haven't gave a lot of credit where it's due to that driver for 27 machine. Definitely one of the cleaner cars out there so far as we begin to enter the closing stages of this race. However, John Theodore definitely has to worry about that number 11 car behind him, closing in slowly but surely. William Davis eating up about a 10th a lap. At some tracks you would say, well, that's not a whole lot. Here at Bristol, it means a whole lot. He even looks like he's 5 or 10 car lengths behind right now, but it's actually less than half a second. And at that pace, William Davis could run down Theodore within the next couple of laps.
He could, but man, Theodore just seems like he's having a run tonight that's unstoppable. I mean, the car has just been solid all night. He definitely has a preferred line around here. It's worked for him. But man, if we look on camera there, Davis is really starting to put the pressure on. Still a long way to go, Sam. I know, well, we're in the 3rd stage and this track, this race winding down. We watched Davis go to the inside here, and he is really challenging Theodore now.
He is, and even if he can't complete it this way, lap traffic, if they continue under green, will start to become a concern. Chris Scala, who had been running up in the top 5 early on, but picked up a bit of damage. He'll be the first victim to go a lap down at the hands of Gabe Wood, unless he's able to put up a fight and hold that 00 car off. Keeping an eye on this battle for 2nd right now. These 2 drivers have about 2 seconds over the next car behind them, Mark Clewell.
Yeah, Clewell's machine so beat up right now. I don't know if he can get there, Sam. But this is the best battle on track. It's intense, man. Theodore, again, just seems to have a line right now that prevents Davis from getting any kind of a run at him. He gets a run there, but it's got to back out of it. He runs out of straight. Just up in front of them, and Scala still trying to hang on here. Down in 11th, he was side by side with our leader.
It looks like Scala's going to stay high. He doesn't really know where he's going now. He's going in the middle. There they go. They split him, and Will Davis, with a power move and using lap traffic, takes 2nd position.
That's a pretty hefty way to get it done. But hats off to Will Davis on making that move there in the Dirty Air Toyota. The Beast made a beast move, Sam.
I think coming from a British Formula One fan's perspective, I have a right to say that Mika Hakkinen would be proud of that one.
Mika's somewhere smiling right now, toasting him.
Oh, and it may get even better for Davis, because Gabe Wood just did what we saw him do a couple times earlier and got a little piece of the outside wall.
He's up there trying to knock it down. Got to be careful, Gabe. Come on, buddy.
Knocking down the walls of Bristol. Bam, bam. These are the Warriors. And they're entering the last 75 laps of this race. Gabe Wood has the lead by 6/10 over Will Davis.
Really, Sam?
It's not the first time I've used that on a GSRC broadcast. Meanwhile, they're putting Mark McFadden the lap down now in that BDAB 48 machine.
Wood scraping it again. Sam, I've said it. I can't remember how many times in this broadcast you can only get away with doing that so much, and then the car is going to fight back. And so far, so good for Gabe. But man, Davis is still driving it hard back there, and he's not putting it in the wall right now.
Yeah. So Mark McFadden and Chris Scarlett on the lap down. Now the next victim that Gabe Wood will be very delighted to see in his windshield, even more delighted to see in his rearview mirror, and maybe just a few laps down, is Gerald Campbell running in 9th position. But I've got to imagine, Sean, 9th, Campbell's got to take that at this rate. I mean, I know we've still got 71 laps to go, so a lot could change before then, but just the way his race has gone, I'm sure he'd be content with the top 10.
Yeah, and listen, he's fought to get back where he's at right now. It's what I talked about earlier. Right now, for Campbell, it's just about surviving this thing. Don't destroy that whole cushion you had coming in by not finishing this thing and sliding all the way down to the back of the pack. So Campbell doing a great job. This is how you win a championship if things aren't going your way, Sam.
And let's not forget, I'm still wondering if Campbell has an extra set of tyres over the rest of his competitors. Granted, I'm pretty sure under the last yellow they all took 4 tyres, so this loss in pace right here is an indication that his car's not handling too well.
Yeah, well, we've suspected that for a little while, so I think we're universal on agreeing that. But yeah, all that ground, I thought that Will Davis was making up on our leader, Gabe Wood. Guess what, Sam? Not anymore. Gabe's now that he's cleared Gerald Campbell, Gabe is really got that car turning on a dime for him right now and setting some pretty darn good laps.
But there it goes. He almost knocks down the wall again. That is his Achilles heel. That's what he's going to make sure he doesn't do in the last 65 laps of this event.
Well, now he's got Campbell between him and Davis. That can only help. Boy, but Gabe running it right up there against the wall again, man. Be easy on her, Gabe. Be easy on her. Now you got to start thinking about when do you come in, Sam. We've got this green flag going here. You're not even close to your window on fuel, but do you wait until the very end and see if you're going to get an opportunity with caution? I'd say, personally, if I'm on the box, I'm probably going to wait another 30 before I call him in, if this stays green.
I think I can make it to the end on fuel, Sean. The last yellow was at lap 140. I mean, the tyres will be shot by the end.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Now, I believe it was the truck series, the SSCA truck series, where we saw a couple of drivers who had nothing to lose come in and just put tyres on, knowing they would be a lot faster. The drivers currently running about a second a lap slower than their fastest laps of a race. So is it worth it? Now remember, when you pit under green here, you don't have to go down the whole pit road, just your side of pit road.
Your side. And honestly, Sam, everybody on the same side tonight. We didn't have enough cars to trip it over to the other side. Davis seems to have steadied just a bit. That's two Georgian drivers there up front from representing the great state of Georgia.
Oh, Gabe Wood just tried to escape to Georgia again by breaking through the wall.
He's trying to take the shortcut, trying to take that turn east over to Georgia.
This track is so short though, Sean. I doubt even if you drove this car as long as a race here, you'd get nowhere near Georgia. Yeah, here we go. Clewell running down Theodore.
A little bit at a time. Man, I'll tell you what. He's somehow making that Toyota work. Clewell has seen the wars this evening, but he's out here competing for points too. He's got an excellent opportunity right now to take a P3 away from John Theodore, who's been just rock solid for most, if not all, of this race, Sam.
John Theodore started 6th. Mark Clewell started right behind him in 7th position. As a matter of fact, all the drivers in our top 7 started in the top 10. And Jeremy Crandall, 8th place, last car on the lead lap, just knocked the wall down in turn 4, ricocheted, slammed the inside wall, kept it pointing straight. He's going to try and keep going.
Boy, I don't know, Sam. I think the call might be to try and bring this car in. Don't screw up any of those guys running for the championship. Yeah, he's going to bring it in. That car is really, really hurting, Sam.
But is he going to try and take tyres, I wonder? Just try and give this strategy a go? So, let's keep half an eye on this 73 car. He's already down to 11th and last in the race, so that means he's 2 laps down now.
Okay, back here we got Theodore, Clewell side by side. Clewell trying to pull it off. They just went across the start-finish line. Clewell down in the bottom of 1, losing a little bit of ground, but now going to pull it back up alongside. Theodore fighting really hard here in 3 and 4. Can Clewell make this stick? No, Theodore is going to get it across the line and hang on to 3rd for now.
As this goes on, I'll tell you, Crandall did not return to the circuit. I guess they just wanted to roll it back into the garage on fresh tyres. So we are down to 10 cars, which is good news for all the playoff drivers who are still in the race, knowing pretty much the worst they can finish is 10th.
Sam, I think the car will ride better in the trailer with fresh tires on it. Just a thought.
Well, Clewell and Theodore's cars will ride better into the trailer with fresh bodies on it, but I'm not sure if that's the way they are going to ride on it as they continue to run side by side for 3rd position.
Yeah, and Clewell right now holds the spot. He's in the 3rd. It's officially Theodore has been dropped to 4th. Officially, finally, Theodore is going to cross him over there and try and take it back as they head down the backstretch. Nothing doing, not yet. Clewell back to running that higher line. That might have cost him right there a little bit. He did scuff off some speed, but across the stripe, it's still Mark Clewell sitting in 3rd right now.
Lap times continue to fall off. Only a couple of drivers able to run sub 16-second laps right now, as Clewell is in 3rd place, trying to hold off Theodore for 4th. 5th place also quite close on track between Josh Bonwell and Eric Stanford.
Yeah, Stanford down there trying to make the low line work, Sam. Exploring. And another car that's had quite a bit of damage, but you know what? The car in front of him's got it too. So these two on a level playing field right now, out here on about the same amount of tires. They're separated by about 2 laps. So that's certainly not an issue. And right now, Bonwell doing a good job of just hanging on to it.
Meanwhile, even though he's a lap down, it's worth noting that because Jeremy Crandall came into the pits not too long ago, Gerald Campbell has now moved up into 8th position as he actually just got a little piece of a wall going down the front straight. The only car 1 lap down, so you get the lucky dog if we did have another yellow, and the battle for 3rd might be brewing again.
Hey, I don't want you to worry about Campbell being in a wall back there. He's picked up so much concrete at this point. I think he bought stock in ready mix. So don't worry about it. I think he'll be okay here at the end. But this battle, boy, Clewell fighting hard from the top side. Look at these two. Nice little parade. But you know what? Gabe Wood is being warned by race control right now to really, really try and keep that car off the wall, Sam.
Yeah, I'm sure that's his intention, is to not hit it too much. Will Davis ate 0.2 of a second into his lead last lap around.
Look at Theodore all of a sudden.
The two-way battle for third and the two-way battle for fifth have closed in on each other.
They sure have, Sam. Theodore now fighting back here, and boy, he has got Clewell in the crosshairs as they come out of turn 4. The 27 is back on his horse and in the saddle.
65 is Mark Clewell, 27 John Theodore, the 56 of Josh Cromwell, and the 19 of Eric Stanford. Last drive on the lead. Oh, trouble!
Oh, and it's Clewell! Oh no! Well, I think he had trouble getting off of turn 4. Oh, he did have trouble. Clewell gets the wall, Sam, coming out of 4. You're going to see it. He bounces across the track right in front of Theodore, and I'm afraid he's popped the motor. Car is moving.
Yes. So who has how many tires left now, Sean?
On board with Theodore, Sam. You're going to see exactly what happens here to Clewell. He is going to get that wall, and Theodore really with no place to go. Does get into the back of him. Is going to pick up more damage on the front end of that car, but I'm afraid Mark Clewell's car may be done for the night. Oh, and they're all coming in, Sam.
Yeah, well, they all have to for fresh tires if they all have them. And winning the race off of pit road will be Eric Stanford. Well, he definitely did not take 4 tires. Gabe Wood and Will Davis coming right behind him the way they came in. And Eric Stanford actually coming back into the pits now. So Wood and Davis will lead them back to green. Meanwhile, I'm pretty sure Gerald Campbell will go ahead and be given the lucky dog. Yeah, he's already received that actually. So he'll be able to restart 7th now with Clewell crashing out. Also worth noting, right before that happened, Jeremy Crandall officially retired from the race. So if Clewell's not able to get back on track, that will take us down to 9 cars.
Well, that's okay, Sam, because guess what? We're going to have a sprint to the finish here. Not much left now.
Probably a couple more laps of yellow here, considering the fact we had a lot of cars lapped down. So, Wood, once again, he's almost looked unbeatable, Sean, especially on the shorter runs. But if we did go green to the end, you're still looking at about a 25 or 30 lap run. And that is enough time to abuse those tires. And that's when I think he starts to run into trouble.
Yeah, I'm with you, Sam. I definitely plenty of laps left to abuse them. And I think what you got to do is you got to get off to a solid start here, get back into your rhythm, and maybe save that effort for a few laps to go. You know what I mean? For maybe like the last 10.
Pace car lights are off here. Will this be the last restart of the night here at the Top Shelf Auto Detailing 250? Perhaps not, because it is the first race of the playoffs in the 2018 SSCA AdPro Challenger Series here on the Global SimRacing Channel. We are in the 3rd and final stage. Remember, if we do see a caution within the last 4 or 5 laps, iRacing will say the race is over. The SSCA SSCA will say, no, it's not, and they will make sure we get a restart to the end. Right now, we're restarting with 29 laps to go. Gabe Wood gets a good restart, but Will Davis does too. Battle, though, going to be on between Davis down low and Bonwell up high.
Oh, man, Davis really digging. And it's Bonwell now down there looking for opportunity. Bonwell on the bottom there, side by side across the line, Sam. Bonwell trying to get up to the front. Can he do it? He can't. They've got the momentum on the top. That top line still moving here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Here comes John Theodore, not giving it up. Trying to diamond it off himself there on those turns.
Let's not forget that iRacing has had dynamic tracks for a while now, so oh, and into the wall, both of the leaders go.
And here comes Bonwell.
Yeah, looks like the high line is working better than what was at the start of the race, but it doesn't work too well when you hit that big solid thing on the right.
Davis wrapped it again right in front of Bonwell. And that's not a yellow taxi, folks. That's yellow freight, and Bonwell is hauling the freight right now, trying to bring it to the leaders. Spencer moving up along the inside. He's going to go to the lead.
Yep, there goes Will Davis to the lead after Wood going the wall, but Wood going to cross right back over and take the lead back as Davis hits the wall again and almost comes down Clip Wood.
Wow.
They keep pulling off this crossover on each other, but I really think they'd be doing a better job if they kept their cars clean at the same time.
I think Bonwell and Theodore are loving this. Theodore now starting to find his groove. And hey, don't give up on Trey Galgan. Heck Machine is right back there ready to pounce. Bonwell again just sticking with the bottom line right now. He's going to let those two continue to fight here, Sam.
7 cars left on the lead lap. Campbell, the last one of those. But right now, as you mentioned, Sean, are these top two burning off their stuff by knocking into each other, knocking into the wall. Will Bonwell and Theodore have the best cars at the end? Well, they're about to go side by side for third.
Oh, Theodore's had one of the best cars all night, Sam. This is what he's waited for, an opportunity with 20 to go. It's time to drop the disco ball, and it's time to boogie, baby.
I mentioned 7 cars on the lead lap, top 5 close. They are all playoff drivers. Wood was in the wall. Davis is going to take advantage, but we already know what's coming. Wood is going to try and cross under on the exit here. And Davis tried to go defensive, anticipating exactly that. So now, Davis sitting in position number 1.
Sam, I still think Bonwell and Theodore have the best chance to win this race right now, the way these two keep going at it up front. Oh, and Wood is into the wall again.
Yeah, it wasn't his turn. You need the leader to hit the wall. If you're second and you hit the wall like that, that's just allowing the leader to run away.
Bonwell challenging for that second spot now against Gabe Wood.
So Will Davis is loving this, a battle on for second in his rearview mirror, and they make contact and Bonwell has to save it.
It was awful close, Sam. Maybe not, but it doesn't change the fact that he had to get out of it. Now he's under threat from Theodore. Galgan, by the way, Trey Galgan fans, he hasn't gone away. He's still hanging on there in 5th, looking for opportunity here. And Wood is just too high up the track right now. I don't like his chances. He's still battling with that wall up there.
Yeah, Will Davis looking very handsome right now. Less than 14 laps to go. He holds an 8/10 of a second lead over Wood, Bonwell, Theodore and Galgan. All playoff drivers, all covered by 1.7 seconds.
Covered up, Sam. Scattered, smothered, and covered here at Bristol Motor Speedway. I don't know if I could say that, actually. I did. It's Will Davis. I almost called Will Davis Spencer Davis, who's actually an Xfinity driver, I think. But Will having an excellent run here. And I'll tell you what, this is starting to look like his race to win with 11 laps to go at the line.
I'd say it's his race to lose. Someone once told me once, I was playing a game of chess, and they said the guy who wins a game of chess is the guy who makes or the guy who loses a game of chess is the guy who makes the last mistake. The guy who lost this race was Gabe Wood because he made the last mistake, and Will Davis took advantage of that. And as long as Will Davis doesn't make a last mistake, as you mentioned, Sean, looks like at number 11 will come across the line in position number 1, but we still have 8.5 laps left to go.
Yeah, and with 8.5 laps, all of a sudden they've kind of settled down, Sam. It's got me a little concerned. The battles that were going on are no longer there. Bonwell has just fallen behind. Wood can't catch him.
And Bonwell hit the wall hard.
Oh, no. There's a chance for Theodore to maybe get a top 3.
Well, Theodore, I mean, the race car driving him right now is going to find any possible way to get around him.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Meanwhile, credit where it's due. Driver who brought out our last caution, that was Mark Crowell, right? He's still running out there.
Oh, yeah. He's hanging in there.
Yeah, and as I say that, he brings into the pits. We're still going to salvage top 10 out of a car that had a pretty nasty knock.
I'll tell you what. You talk about being in the right place at the right time and slinging it around here tonight just enough to put yourself in a good position to win. Will Davis, with a lot of damage on the front end of that Ford, is leading this race with 4 laps to go, and he's walking away now, opening up to almost a 1.5 seconds on his competitors.
Yeah, and Toyo, actually, let's not forget how he got the damage to that nose, Sean. He whacked that inside wall. No wonder it's so hard for you to read the badge on the front of it.
Sam, he's beat it up so bad and he beat it into a Ford. It does. I'm telling you, that front end looks like the Mustang on it, but yeah, I see the badge now. I got it wrong.
Toyota moving forward.
Bonwell is digging hard, and now he's up alongside Wood, and this is the battle, Sam, with 1.5 laps to go. The battle for second.
Yep, white flag. Here we go, so the white flag is out. And amazingly, the last laps of this race have just clicked off. Will Davis is going to come around and take a victory. What a start to his playoff campaign, but who's going to get second?
Nah. That's going to be Gabe Wood. Josh Bonwell going to have to settle for third. John Theodore was right there at the end, Sam. And Trey Galligan completing the top 5 after all the trouble he had early in this race. I'd say that's a pretty darn good finish there for Trey.
And pretty much every driver out there had the comeback story tonight, at least those that were still running at the finish of it. And especially, man, what about our race winner there, Will Davis, after his crash earlier on in the race. It's going to get him into the next round of the playoffs. It's his second win of the season behind the wheel of that number 11 Toyota Camry Ford Mustang Chevy looking thingy. All right, well, as we let Davis celebrate, we're going to take a quick break here on the Global SimRacing Channel. We will be back with a full race rundown and drive interviews as Davis blows the engine. That's all it had in it. We knew it was coming eventually. Stay tuned here on GSRC.
Welcome back. You just watched the Top Shelf 250 from Bristol Motor Speedway. Top Shelf, our wonderful sponsor this evening. And boy, let's talk about the results here because we've got several drivers waiting to be interviewed. Here we go. Right now, Will Davis, your big winner. Gabe Wood for the second place finish, and he had to fight off a tremendous charge from Josh Bonwell there at the end. John Theodore, after having just a solid race all night running up front, gonna have to settle for fourth. Trey Galgan manages to keep it together and finish the race in fifth. Eric Stanford, the New Yorker, comes home in sixth. Gerald Campbell, he hangs on. He did exactly what you need to do to win a championship this evening, and he, brings it home in seventh. Chris Scala, eighth. Ninth, going to go to Mark McFadden. Mark Clewell with a 10th place finish. He does hang on and finish this race. Jeremy Crandall finishes in 11th. Adam Eisenhower, trouble for him tonight. He'll finish 12th. Jeff Martin, 13th. Donald Stewart, 14th with bad luck early. Luis Salmoso with more bad luck himself. And Darren Clement never really got this race started, so he didn't count. But he certainly counts in our hearts. So good job there by everybody tonight. And I think it's probably time to talk to our winner, Will Davis, who had just a heck of a run this evening and did it from maybe a little bit deeper in the field. So let's talk to Will Davis here real quick. Will, have you got me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Will, congratulations. That was a hard-fought race at Bristol this evening. What was the secret for you?
I don't really know if it's a secret. Just I don't really know. I'm still trying to, kind of shot, just trying to kind of come down from that high. I don't know, man. It was intense.
Okay, so there were probably a few more cautions than everybody wanted there in the race. Let's talk about the track conditions. I mean, the temperature was pretty favorable going in. Was it a slick track, or did you have plenty of grip in the machine?
Yeah, there was plenty of grip. The track was pretty cool weather in Bristol. So there's lots of grip. The car kind of got tight after a few laps off the corners. There were some few mishaps where guys kind of got into the wall and whatnot. It's so easy to do. So the car definitely does tighten up. There's tons of grip in the middle, and it's good racing.
Well, it was good racing. And listen, a great way to start off the playoffs for yourself with a big win here tonight at Bristol as we head to Road America. What kind of a challenge is that going to be for you?
It's going to be a hell of a challenge. I'm not too good on road courses, I'm sure, as y'all have noticed. So this is a big win to, lock myself into the next round and not have to really worry about it. But I'm definitely going to give it a run and see what happens because I definitely need practice on them. So, yeah, I'm just going to see what happens.
Well, listen, I got a little info for you. I got to run the Xfinity car yesterday at Road America. It's wicked fun, and actually this is a pretty good little road racer you got here to take into that race. So get some practice. We wish you the best, and anybody you'd like to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, thank Gary Sexton and Chris, man, especially Gary. He was on my ear all night, spotting for me and giving me a lot of praise. And I thank my wife for letting me do this, and my father-in-law and my mom and all the fans for watching, and y'all obviously for putting on a good show. And just thank all the fans.
So Papa Sexton was looking over, taking care of you. Well, good stuff, man. Hey, we appreciate talking to you. We'll see you we'll see you next time at Road America.
I appreciate it. Take care.
All right, now that was Will Davis. Next, we're going to talk to Gabe Wood. Gabe, can you hear us?
Yeah, I got you.
Gabe, you just barely hung on to that one. Bonwell was giving you a little bit of the business there the last few laps.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on that final restart. The bottom just fell out from him. I mean, and you guys saw it. The run before that when we ran about 75 laps, green flag. It just the thing clicked. I was pulling away from Will and Ray, my spotter Ray. We were just talking about it. It's like we had it pretty much locked up, and then the caution came out. And I thought we were going to have Will, but he's just so good on new tires, and I have no idea how he was able to come back from that.
Well, you know what? It was a tough race tonight. Everybody picked up seemed like a little bit of damage one way or another early, and then that wall became a big factor. Talk about that. I was telling everybody during the race, you can only really wrap that thing so many times before the car starts fighting back. What was it like for you?
It didn't feel too bad. I may have been the final few laps that may have done me in hitting the wall, but it was just turn 3 and 4. You can run it so aggressively up next to the wall, and you can cut it down. But 1 and 2, there's a bump entering turn 1, and it just upsets the car just enough to where it starts to develop a little bit of a push, and that's what happened. And then me and Will got together, and a couple laps later, Cluwell did the same thing in front of me. So it wasn't just a me problem. It's just how you drive this track. But I'm in love with this new build, the new setups, and how Bristol's working, because you can run the bottom, you can run the top. It's just depending on what part of the race you're in.
Well, the part of the race you were in actually wound up with a second place. That's a good way to start the playoffs. You've got to feel pretty excited about that heading to Road America.
Yep, and I am in love with Road America, and I missed Mid-Ohio, and I'm actually kind of glad that I did, because I went home and I ended up running a different league race the next week in Mid-Ohio. I was absolutely trashed, so hopefully going 2 for 2 at the road courses next week.
All right, well, hey, we wish you the best, Gabe. Anybody you'd like to thank before we get you out of here?
Just everybody at Snow Motorsports. It's been a bit of a tough year for owner Michael Snow. He got a new job, so hadn't been as involved as he was at the beginning of the year. But hopefully going to come back next year and be a lot stronger. Hopefully we can walk away with the championship this year.
All right, folks, that's Gabe Wood, second place finisher tonight. The next one to talk to is Josh Bonwell. Josh, who almost got that second place finish there from Gabe. Josh, talk about those closing laps. How hard were you digging there?
Oh, we were digging pretty hard, and it was a fun race there. It was fun racing with Gabe. I'm glad Will got the win there. That was just great racing all around there, and the pressure coming up back from I don't even know who was behind me, but it was wild racing.
Yeah, it really, really was. It was wild early in the race. The cautions we picked up in the first half of the race really put everybody behind with damage. How hard was it for you to fight through the rest of the race with all the damage you had on your car?
Really, it wasn't too horrible. We got most of the damage fixed early on, and then it was just, we had to work our way back up through the field 2 or 3 times, and that's the most nerve-wracking part of being in Bristol, when everybody's in front of you, and you just hope everybody can keep it together.
Yeah, well, and keeping it together was kind of the name of the game at some point for everyone tonight. How much does it mean to you to walk away here with a top 3?
Oh, it's great. I accomplished the goal for the night. We were looking for top 3, hoping for the win, but here we are in 3rd, and I'm tickled to death with it.
You ready to tackle the road course up in Wisconsin there?
I think I am. I've been doing pretty good on the road courses this year. I've got a string of top 5 finishes, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, and who knows? Maybe with a little bit of luck, you get a finish that maybe nets a checkered flag, and then that gets you in round 2 automatically. So best of luck to you there, Josh. Anybody you'd like to thank real quick?
Yeah, I want to thank you guys here at GSRC for putting on great broadcasts for us every week, and my team, Turn 4 Racing and HomeNet Hosting and PC Repair. Gary Sexton, he does a great job with this league. All the work he does, you can't thank him enough. And my girlfriend for putting up with this, and my mom for her continued support. All
right. Well, Josh, we will see you next time at Road America. And we got one last person to talk to here, and we'll wrap things up. But Trey Galgan, we got to talk to Trey, because Trey, I think you might have overcome more damage than anybody this evening. To let's just say, out of the damaged cars, you had the highest finish. So, how does it feel to at least bring it home in 5th?
It feels pretty good. Man, we had an up and down night. I made a bunch of mistakes out there, caught some guys in the wrecks, and I feel a little bad about that. But, we were able to minimize the damage and come home with a 5th place finish, which I'll take that any day, to be honest with you. especially here at Bristol with how much damage we had.
Trey, what was the problem tonight? What do you, was it the track? Was it the drivers? Was it just a bad week? I don't know. What do you think? I mean, we got some great racing at the end, but listen, it was a little rocky getting started, wasn't it?
I would say a combination of both. The track, it was getting a lot tight, in the long runs, and that's what ended up, me accidentally getting into the 86, and then there at the beginning of the race with the 6, I just misjudged him because he was so slow, and I just didn't have time to react by the time I realized how slow he was going off that turn. But I think it was just a combination of the track being so tight tonight and combination of the driver myself not being able to react in time.
Well, you get plenty of time to react at Road America. How much preparation you got to put in heading into that race?
I never raced on that racetrack on iRacing, so I'm gonna have to do a bunch of practice this weekend, getting ready for that race, and should be a better one there at Road America because this whole season I think we've been pretty strong on road courses, so it'll be pretty interesting going there.
Well, it will indeed, and we look forward to seeing you there, Trey. We thank you for your time, and we'll see you at Road America.
Thank you.
All right, folks, that was Trey Galgan. Sam is gone. He has left the booth, and he is over on the iRacing Esports Network with the Lionheart IndyCar Series right now as they are in qualifying in about 6.5 minutes. Stick with me. Let's get the information to you real quick. Now, Top Shelf Auto Detailing, they were our big sponsor tonight. Raleigh, North Carolina's most experienced auto detailing company for over 35 years. Top Shelf Auto Detailing has been making rides look new again. Call Robert if you want a new looking ride at 919-883-7497. Folks, we can't thank you enough for watching tonight, but we got to pay some bills. So we'd like to thank all of the organizers and competitors of the Simulated Stock Car Association and the AdPro 360 Challenger Series for coming out here tonight and putting on a great show. AdPro 360, of course, is an advertising agency that specializes in digital and social media marketing. For more information, go to their website at adproresults.com. We would also like to thank all the companies that provided the software and the hardware for our broadcast this evening. There, you see them on the screen now. Additional thanks always go out to Eric Ekholm and June Milan, who provide us with our fabulous music we have here on the network. See the screen for how to get a hold of more of their great work. Thanks to the team today, Sam, Joe, at his peak today, Dougie Beard on those cameras. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, visit us at globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on social media, you bet. Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook. Just go over there and type in Global Sim Racing Channel, all one word. You'll find us. Instagram at GSRC_Graham. We also have upcoming races for our other series listed on your screen now, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar, and don't miss another second of exciting racing action. Listen, folks, hit our subscribe button. If you're not a subscriber, you're missing out. But until next time, race clean, race hard. We'll see you on the track. Get over to the iRacing Esports Network. Watch the Lionheart race for the rest of your great Wednesday evening.